Hey, this is Healthful. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jade.
So grab a tea and let's get started.
All right. Hey, Em.
Hello.
We were just having a little giggle about our intro. Like, we just felt so clever, didn't we?
We think we're so good.
We think we're so smart. I mean, we did it all by ourselves, basically. And I know for me, it kind of set the tone for what we want to have a chat about today, which is kind of all stress things related. I don't know, that little sip sound at the end of our intro just made me think, I don't know.
Does it trigger your stress signal?
It does the opposite for me, actually. I'm just like,
it's good.
That's relaxing.
Good.
Like, settling in.
No,
stress.
It does set the tone. It does set the tone for today's topic. Stress.
What is that?
The biggest killer.
It is.
It actually is though. And I feel it. I actually have an eye twitch going on at the moment. And it's been happening for the past 3 days. And honestly, it's not fun. And like everything that I've looked at has said it's to do with like stress or being tired. And I've taken naps. I've slept a lot. It's got to be stress.
Yeah.
Well,
you just finished or basically finished that assignment thing that you were working on that you were stressing out about because of the freaking word count.
Oh, don't even get me started. In Devon Natural College, can you please work on your word counts?
Make them longer, please. Yeah. Oh goodness, stress, that's such a big topic. Hey, how are we going to break it down?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, look, what's our own definitions of that? Like, how do we notice it within ourselves? Like, that's the thing when we talk about it. We're talking about our own opinions and thoughts, you know? Yeah. We're not generalizing thinking, oh, yeah, like, this is the way it is for us. That means it's the same for everybody.
That's right.
I know that I show stress differently to you, Jade.
Oh, yeah, I know. I often think that too because in a lot of health circles, whenever they start talking about stress, which, as you said, it's the biggest killer. It honestly affects so many aspects of our health. But when I sit there and listen to like multiple seminars and things and they say, reduce your stress, I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, okay, cool. It's like that whole thing of like, have you just tried being happy?
Yeah. Or have you just, slept more, you know, when you're tired? You're like, seriously.
Thank you.
Because I haven't tried that already.
No,
like,
wow, if only I knew that.
I just try to stress less because that's just simple.
Oh, my brother-in-law, literally, every single time I say I'm stressed, he's like, just don't be stressed. I'm like, oh, wow, thanks.
That's so helpful.
Great.
But seriously, like I know you, like both of us, we've had times of stress, varying degrees of stress in our lives, and some of them have been more impactful than others. And I guess we probably just want to come on and have a chit chat about how we've gone about managing that in our own life. So what's a good scenario for you, Em?
Okay. Wow. Throwing me in the deep end.
Yeah.
I see how it is. I don't know. Like, I definitely still feel like it's a journey, right? You know, there's no necessarily like a destination that I'm trying to get to, because I know for a fact that I'm in a very stressed state of mind, and, you know, I'm very much in, you know, the sympathetic nervous system, as we've discussed in previous episodes.
Yes.
That, you know, it does make me, like, I struggle to fall asleep because, you know, my mind is running wild and I can feel exhausted, but then the moment I put my head on the pillow, like, I'm thinking about every single thing that I need to be doing in the next, you know, 2 weeks all at once, you know, and it's just, who does that help? I mean, like, seriously.
That's why I say we're not made for this bloody modern world.
No, we're really not meant for it. I'm a simple man.
What's like a good, something like a scenario that you've managed to, I guess, alleviate your stress levels?
Yeah. Okay, so like probably a good example of this is in my own job at the moment, because obviously I am, as we all know, trying to study almost full-time, mostly part-time, and I'm working almost full-time as well. And on top of that, trying to have a social life and friends and blah, 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 blah.
And time for yourself too.
And time for myself, which I realised that I was not doing, because you know, recently I've been working however many days a week, and I was working 12-hour days and then having a day a week to pretty much put 12 hours of study in, and I was trying to have my weekends be where I saw my friends, and then I was wondering why, 1, I was never excited for anything, 2, I was always tired and just felt like crap. And I think it comes down to the fact that probably hit the nail on the head, is that I was stressed and I was causing myself this pain by trying to fit it all in and thinking that I had to do it all at once. And I honestly had to sit down and think, okay, something's not right, because you know, things like bloody eye twitch stuff, like like my body's like, no,
I'm gonna give you this more things
literally. It's just like, I think that was one of the things as well when I was like using good old like Dr. Google when I was looking at my eye twitch, was just like, try not to stress about the eye twitch. That makes the eye twitch worse. And I'm like, oh, good.
That's just...
Now you're making me focus on the eye twitch. I'm a chronic overthinker. Can you tell?
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, look, recently I have decided that, you know, like I spoke to my boss, I've cut down my work days and I'm doing shorter shifts and I'm giving myself a daily task of doing just a bit of study and then, you know, some self-care, getting back into the gym, trying to get back into a good routine. Waking up a little bit, you know, later, not before the butt crack of dawn, you know?
Yeah.
Like trying to, you know, give myself, my body a bit of a break and a bit of kindness to myself.
Yep.
And not like feeling guilty if I do spend a whole day watching Netflix, which I do.
That is okay.
That's okay.
That is okay.
That's so okay. Especially if it's Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that makes it more okay.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It really gives you the tick of approval.
Yeah.
There, so, yeah.
Right? But yeah, I feel like that for me, like that's been my realization of like, okay, like sometimes
you need to change.
You need to change things up. It might work for a little while, but then it doesn't work, and that's okay. Give something else a go. Like that's what life is, right? Trying and failing over and over again until one day something
you get
works.
it right. Exactly. Yeah, I feel like I've been in the same sort of thing over the past few years. So like, yeah, I struggled a bit with, I think, overworking. It's probably the best word to describe it as.
You think?
I know. Which I can kind of laugh about in retrospect, but at the time I just told myself, no, this is kind of my compromise. I need to, because like bit of backstory, you know, let's just rewind the clock
Rewind
here.
the time.
Rewind
back
the
to
time.
Yesteryear.
Yes, in good old 2019. So we were living in Warwick for the longest time.
Warwick's in Queensland.
In Queensland, not in England. And you know, like lots of things came about that we decided to move to Brisbane. Like we just needed that change, wanted to get back to city life and all that kind of stuff. And so what that meant for me was really having to figure out how to balance working in two workplaces. I'd never done that before until we'd moved. So I was working 2 days in Brisbane and then basically all the other days apart from Sunday and every subsequent Saturday sort of thing in Warwick. So I had to quickly come up with a plan with, okay, well, where am I going to live? Like, how am I going to structure my work days? And I also, before we'd moved, I had taken up a third role as a chiropractor still, but I was working at an external facility doing spinal checks and stuff like that. So I basically had 3 jobs at one time. So that was a bit crazy.
That's messed up.
I know. And I thought that was okay because that was my compromise. I told myself, okay, if this move is going to make me happy and that's where I want to be, then I've got to make this work thing work.
Yeah, I think we put ourselves in that trap quite often of being like, okay, like I chose this, so I have to make it work.
I have to do it.
And I have to be okay doing it.
That's right. And that's what I told myself the longest time. And, you know, I was literally every single day of those work days, I'd be up at the crack of dawn, going to work or driving to work or something like that, being there all day until, you know, 6, 7 o'clock at night time. And then particularly on my days when I lived away from home, I couldn't separate because I was in this country town. I had nothing else to do when I was off work. Yeah. So like I just told myself I had to fill that time in with more productive things. So I was doing more behind the scenes work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of this toxic thing, this toxic cycle that I went through for the longest time. And then what changed, what made me realize, shit, this is not conducive to my, like I was getting so exhausted. I basically hit a burnout point, and it took a little business retreat thing for me to realize this is not working and it's okay. So
sometimes it can take something big.
Yeah, like something big like that, like a little revelation sort of thingy. Because I told myself,
an epiphany.
Epiphany. But like I told myself that I could do this for an extra few years. And then I could stop one of those 3 roles because there was a time limit on that one.
Yeah. And
so the only thing that changed after that moment was I just got rid of that third job. And that was that freed up just a Wednesday morning, couple of hours in the morning. And that was a huge shift already for my stress levels. You know?
It can be something as simple as that too.
Exactly. And so like you said before, about constantly changing things. Like you might never get it perfect, but that at that period of time was what I needed to like refocus my energy and realize that that third job that I had just quit was actually not really conducive to my future direction. It wasn't allowing me to grow. I was just kind of doing it because initially I did it as kind of like a favor to a friend. And then it just kind of stuck around because, you know, there's maybe a little bit of extra income with it, blah, blah, blah. But the amazing things that changed once I quit that, mind you, like I said, it was literally only a couple of hours on a Wednesday morning that it freed up for my whole week. But I was suddenly able to put all of my focus into constructive future planning for my future, like my actual future and the future of my husband's business and all that we work together on. And that was ground changing. Like, everything about like the way that we operated the business behind the scenes and stuff like that was so big and awesome. But then, like, you know, fast forward, maybe I think it would have been maybe another 12-18 months after that change, I felt that burnout thing again. Yeah. So luckily at that time, I was able to chop out be able to just get a whole day off because we had another chiropractor come into my work practice. So I didn't have to be there on that day anymore. I gave myself permission to actually have that day off. And that, again,
that can sometimes be the biggest challenge, is giving yourself permission to do something.
Oh my God. Like, again, I kept telling myself, no, it's fine. You can just keep living out there. It's no worries. But it was tiring me out, and I got to the same problem that I had previously. So having the Wednesday off, and although it meant that I had to do a lot more travel, I was okay with that because it meant I had a whole freaking day off. Yeah. So I actually had time to book a regular massage in. I was nursing a shoulder injury at the time, so I could actually book in to see other therapists to get that shoulder sorted. I had more time. Well, it's like kind of more time relative to what I had before for the things that I really love, like indoor skydiving. And nowadays I actually have time to do the real thing. So that for me was like a really good
and I think thing. I think we get into this trap too of thinking that we work and then we die, you know, like,
oh, it's so bad. Like, we don't
terrible.
live. We don't actually live.
No, God, no. And like, I mean, I could talk for hours about how we really need to start reworking about how we go about life and what we think we're here for. But I mean, we're not talking about that today.
That's a different
We're
philosophical
talking about
topic.
stress.
And how to fix it. No, not to fix it, but ways that we found that helped. Yeah, like change is, I think, really inevitable in life.
So freeing too.
Isn't it? But you have to be like not afraid to take that leap.
Yeah.
And if it's work balance, for example, if you have that, I guess, luxury for one, but two, having the bravery to have the conversation with your boss or whoever it is that you need to talk to about, hey, I'm getting really burnt out or whatever, what can we do to help improve the situation?
Absolutely. And if you have a good boss, they will help you.
Yeah.
And if they don't, well then great, that's a prompt for you to maybe look somewhere else for a job, because you should absolutely find someone who values their staff.
Well, that's right. And unfortunately, a lot of businesses and workplaces don't.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the honest truth. And like, you know, and in that situation, you might not have the opportunity to, you know, change your work roster, but there are things that you can also do as well. Like, I mean, stress doesn't always come from work. Like, it can be friendships, it can
toxic
be
friendships,
relationship, it can be home life, it can be everything. But like, I just don't want people to think that that's, you know, like, that's it, you know, that's all it is, you know, great, I'm stressed, cool, full stop. Like, that's it. That's just how I am.
Deal with it.
No, like, there is little things that you can do, even things that, you know, you don't have to change big drastic things about your life. You don't have to change a whole work schedule.
Yeah.
You don't have to take a whole day off. It could be something as simple as, you know, like, for me specifically, like, when I started going through like my yoga phase, it was a phase. Let's be real. A great phase. We appreciate the phase, but it was a phase. I started going to a yoga studio and I literally just went for the yin classes. And no, like, if anyone knows yin yoga, it's pretty much just like napping.
Yeah, you hold a position for like
years.
X amount of minutes.
Forever. And like, I have fallen asleep in yin yoga so many times. But the thing is, like, I go there and it's like my space to be calm, and actually going to a studio where I don't have to do anything else. I'm not like surrounded by my desk where I should be studying instead, or I'm not at work that I've only got half an hour on my break. I'm not, you know, like at a friend's house or in trying to catch up with people. I go there for myself and it is an hour that I have to literally just relax. and stretch and move my body in a really calm and gentle way.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, no, I could be spending an hour at the gym getting swole, but I want to be okay in the head.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. It's one of the many tactics I use specifically.
Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that do the same thing though.
Some people, they absolutely love getting swole. That is their like stress relief. They're like, oh, I've had a bad day, I'm just going to go punch it out at the gym.
Yeah.
That used to be me, not anymore. I'm
Not
too
anymore,
old
you're
for
the
that.
opposite. You're too old, oh my god. So for everyone out there, at the time of recording, Em, you are...
37.
No.
Okay, I'm 24, but I'm an old 24.
You're an old soul.
I'm a very old soul. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, no, like I've found that doing that is one little thing that I can do to manage my stress.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but actually going to a space actually helps that, because I don't know about you, but if you could see your work in front of you, don't you just feel guilty like I should be doing it in the background?
Oh, I'm so bad at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my reception staff caught me at lunch the other day because I was in my lunch break in the consult room doing work, and she's like, and I turned around and I said to her, I've got a headache.
Jade.
I know. And she literally just like gave me the look, and she was so funny. She's like, Jade, well, you know what you need to do? You need to just step away from that computer. And
Time you get out of the clinic.
literally, I was like, oh, I can't help it. I'm on a roll. So yeah, I don't know. I think I can be my own worst enemy sometimes in that respect, because I think that's just in my personality. Like, I'm a type A. I like being productive. I like feeling like I'm not wasting time. But I do need to remember to give myself permission to rest and do the things I love. Don't feel guilty. Like if my guilty pleasure is freaking watching, I don't know, binge watching Stranger Things on Netflix, I should do that, because if it means it gets my mind off everything and I actually get a chance to rest, well, heck, that's going to be of benefit to my
that's
mental
totally
health.
fine. I'm the exact same. Like, I freaking love reality television.
Oh no.
I love it.
No.
Love Island hit me up. Like, I love it. And yes, like, I do feel self-conscious, but I'm telling everyone apparently. I feel self-conscious because generally it's trash. It's absolute trash, but sometimes trash is so good when you're stressed.
Yeah, like it's the mindlessness.
Yes.
Like I call it brain dead TV.
Yeah.
Or a brain dead show. Like sometimes, you just want to pick something
need that show.
You play it in the background. If you step away from it, you're not going to miss a huge part of the plot or something like that. And I think
you don't get like totally infatuated by the characters and picturing yourself marrying one of them.
Yes.
Because I absolutely do not want to marry any of those people.
They're all gross. Ooh, yuck.
Make me feel better about myself. Kidding. Mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like there's little things. Whereas I feel like I'm more a different type. I've never been a big productive person. I have to work very hard to push myself, to motivate myself to do something. And I, a lot of the time, am totally okay doing absolutely nothing. I still feel guilty, but that's because other people's pressure on me, I feel. Like, I'll feel like I should be, like, I want to spend time doing absolutely nothing, but then I'll be like, oh, people will say to me, like, shouldn't you have been studying? Or shouldn't you have been out, like, hanging out with your friends? Or, shouldn't you be, like, living in your 20s? And I'm just like,
so nosy?
Why? Live your own life.
Get out of my head.
Yeah, this is my space, this is my dance space, and this is your dance space, and you dance in your dance space, and then I'll dance in mine.
You stay out of my no-no square.
Yeah. Stop, sir, don't touch me there.
Literally.
And it's just like, I think that we each to our own need to work out what our like stress triggers are, and then come up with ways to fix it, you know?
Yeah. Which is, we realize it's easier said than done.
Oh,
but, these are the things that worked for us. Like finding that work-life balance. For me, just finding joy in the activities that I didn't actually have time. I couldn't make it a priority because I just didn't have the time for, which is so sad.
You gotta it's all, I've always said to my friends as well, you've got to actually put it in your calendar, put in a day. And I do this all the time. Once a month, I will put a whole day and I will write M's day.
Oh.
And an M's day, I do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
And it might be, I go, beach is my favorite place in the world. So I will go to the beach, I will sit on that beach and I will sleep or read or eat or just watch the waves.
Yep.
And it's just I'm giving myself permission to have a day for me.
Yep.
Because you got to protect your own energy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think being comfortable with being alone too is probably a really important part of stress management, because this is something that I do I've picked up on a little bit as time's gone on with like knowing people that, you know, they'll say things like, oh my God, like when I used to live away from home with work, or when my husband did the same thing, people might say, oh my God, how can you like, oh God, I've never not spent a night with my partner. And I'm like, wow, like I'm not saying that, but it's not bad, but you just kind of need to appreciate your alone time.
Yeah.
And like, for me, stepping out and doing my own activities and stuff is a big deal, because I'm kind of introverted in some ways. Like I get a lot of social anxiety if I try something new by myself. I get really not afraid, but afraid to go places on my own.
Yeah.
And so it's a big thing for me to actually go ahead and pick something and go, yep, that's my thing. I'm going to do that. But I've done that now and I feel really good about it. And it's my thing.
Yeah.
Like,
it's such an accomplishment.
Yeah. And I feel really great about those choices. So it's something that I don't need to rely on somebody else to be there for me or whatever. It's just I choose when I do it, how often, and that makes me really happy and decreases my stress.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of probably the most empowering things that a person should learn to do, is to learn how to be by yourself and enjoy that time by yourself.
Oh yeah.
I hated it for the longest time. I see myself as an extrovert, but I also have introverted tendencies. Like I dreaded the fact of being by myself because I'd be alone with my thoughts. Don't worry, I don't have like multiple personalities, but like
it was Patricia.
It was Patricia. But like I would not want to be by myself because I'd think about the things I didn't want to think about. And something shifted in me where I realized that, you know, it could be a good thing. And now like I find myself looking forward to the days where I do speak to no one.
You're like embracing that.
I'm embracing it, turning it around.
I feel like that's, you know, that point in adulthood where everybody's like, yep, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go partying. I just want to curl up on the couch and watch Netflix.
Have I reached that? Oh my God.
I think you have.
What?
Oh no, how
Man,
awful.
no, I'm still young. No, I think I have, definitely. Like, I get really excited when Kmart has new paint by numbers.
Right?
I get really excited. Yesterday, I went to Kmart and there was a beautiful one of a chick doing like yoga, and I was like, "This belongs to me."
That's my name all over.
Yeah, right. That's the other thing I do for stress. I paint on my couch and watch like Dexter.
I love Dexter.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's a great TV show.
Yeah, and I really like the contrast of like, you know, the crime and the painting. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Juxtaposition.
Very good.
Stress.
You do you, babe.
Whatever floats your boat.
Oh, exactly. And like, you know, if we had other people, you know, telling us what things they did for their own stress management, oh God, the variety that we'd have. Some of them really weird. Maybe I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head that would be weird,
like
but
squash.
yeah.
I have friends who play squash.
Oh, there you go.
Who plays squash?
And some people
Old
still
people?
like knitting or
Knitting,
crocheting, all that kind of stuff.
Actually, no. Best friend, she loves cross stitch.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, and she's very good at it.
There you go. If you're good at it, that's a bonus too.
It doesn't have to be crafty as well. It could be fencing. I don't know.
Mowing. I know so many people that love mowing. Like that's a little meditative thing. They just love that satisfaction. Washing, yeah.
Those people are crazy.
Ironing. So I know some people that love ironing.
I
I'm
don't.
like, that's kind of weird. I hate ironing.
Yeah.
But
Why would you want to do housework?
I mean, come and do my ironing if you want.
Ooh,
you know?
yeah. The people that love cleaning, I have a perfectly great house and you can come and clean.
Absolutely.
Hit me up on my Instagram.
Well, I guess speaking of Instagrams, I guess, your Instagram.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug time.
Okay, so I'm Raw and Real Nutrition on Insta.
And I'm Captain Jade Sparrow on Insta.
Amazing. Look at us. Cool.
Send us
it's
a
like
DM.
we're actual influencers now.
Oh my God. I know. I always cringe when I hear that on people's videos.
Yeah,
and stuff.
maybe we shouldn't have said that. Can everyone
we'll
just forget
just
that
like
we said
delete
that?
that. We'll just edit that out.
Yeah, we'll just get rid of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we probably will forget.
But seriously, if you guys do want to like send us any DMs or you know, as I say, slide into our DMs.
Yeah.
Or contact us.
Yeah,
contact us. Shot because Emma's single.
Why? Every single time we bring that into the podcast. Just in case, you know.
If there's any lovely fellas out there that are listening.
Yeah, please hit me up. I'm cute, I promise. Why? Well, lovely chatting with you as always.
Yeah.
The tea's been spilled.
That's right. I think we've solved a couple of the world's problems.
Oh God, yeah. The world's a better place now after that.
Oh, absolutely. Revolutionary.
Amazing. Oh, you're recording it.